Good morning.
I think.
I know how to do this.
Sara Misir is a race car driver and the first Caribbean woman to reach the Formula Women finals in the UK.
My father has a very long history in motorsports, and when I was young I used to race dirt bikes when I was about 9 to 12 years old, but my mom didn't like it, so I had to take a step back. So I continued with the horseback riding.
As a child, Sara was an equestrian hopeful, but she suffered an accident that would change the course of her life forever.
I broke my jaw, broke my skull in half, broke my eye orbit, so I have a couple of metal plates and screws in me right now. It was pretty tough because I was 16, so getting kicked in the face and half my face was paralyzed for a year, couldn't eat solid food for a couple months. And having that major injury was a reality check, and it really made me appreciate the little things in life, like being able to yawn. So you know, when you break your jaw, your mouth gets wired shut, so you can't yawn, you can't eat, you can't do a lot of things.
Thankfully, she recovered, and with recovery, she got back on that proverbial saddle.
My dad reintroduced me to the world of motorsports with the go-karts, and it was difficult, you know. I was riding horses from when I was 3-4 years old, and then changing into a completely new sport at 17, 18. It was tough because everyone that I was racing against was racing since they were 4 or 5 years old, so I had a very steep learning curve, but I had to put in a lot of work and a lot of discipline.
So, essentially in this new field of race car driving, she was coming from behind. However, this late start seemingly had no daunting impact on the racer. In fact, it may have even motivated her.
When I went there and it was a streetcar class, which is just the beginner class into Dover, you know. And I won my first race when I went out there, and I saw the look on my mom and my dad's face and how proud they were. And you know, you see hard work pay off, and even if it's a little victory, you know, it was still my first victory, and it was everything. And it's one of the pinnacle moments. I was like, yes, I like this. This can work.
And work it did.
I entered an international competition called Formula Women. And it was thousands of applicants around the world, and it was a lot of tests, you know, on track, written tests, media tests, all these different aspects of motorsports. And after trial, when they were doing knockout rounds from 100 to 75 to 11 to 4, I was able to gain that top 4 position after even doing a trial on ice, where we had to race on the ice in Sweden. And that was very interesting because I'm not having much experience in it, because in Jamaica we don't have that. So it was difficult. Each trial had its own challenges, and each time I had to go in with the mindset of like, I just have to try my best. To become the first international female on the racing circuit for Jamaica wasn't an easy path. You know, when I first started out in racing, even here in Jamaica, it was always harder to gain that respect on track as a woman. And it didn't help me that my back of my car said "Tech Pass Boy," so that did not help my case in terms of gaining the respect. But now it is something that's infamously known, and I have earned it, I think, here in Jamaica on the international circuit. It's still something that's a longer feat to gain.
In 2025, Sara decided to try her hands at a new sport by joining Team Blue Rising in the all-electric E1 World Championships, a powerboat series.
So racing a boat compared to a car is very different. You know, when you get into an issue with a car, you can just walk out. With a boat, you can't simply just step out the boat and walk out. So there was this interesting change in perspective where before I got into the boat and I got certified for racing, I had to do what's called an immersion test, which is where they put you in a simulated cockpit for the boat. They flip you in a pool and you have to let the cockpit fill with water and swim out. So you have to do that a couple of times until you're comfortable with it, and they give you the license to pass.
Already she has garnered the title Rookie on the Water, and she's excited for her next race meet. And for anyone who might be looking at the destination with judgment in their eyes, Sara urges them to first assess the journey.
It's easy to look at someone when they've already reached, somewhere in their career and say, of course, I mean, she got everything handed to her, you see, that's all you see, but behind it, you don't see looking for sponsors, you don't see the hard work of all the doors that got closed in your face. There's so many opportunities that I went and I tried out for Porsche team, I tried out for Aston Martin team. All those doors I went there, I never got the opportunity. One, because it was either too expensive, or I just wasn't good enough for it yet. And it took a lot of perseverance emotionally, because my parents didn't have it where they could just fund any race team and keep going. So I always had to go through an open door with every single blood, sweat, and tears I could carry with me and see what I could make of it, whether it was just networking or just going there for the experience. Any girl that would want this path, or any path that they see as challenges in front of it, I would tell them what I lived by since I was very little, was this quote that I found a very long time ago, where it said, if you always do what you can, you'll never be more than you are. So you have to make yourself uncomfortable to change, and then your new comfort zone will be a lot bigger than you ever thought it could be.